All right, we are live, Scruffy City Aquatics, on a Tuesday night. Everybody will start coming in. I'll pull us up. Ooh, my camera's like at a weird angle. Looks like I'm like falling into you. I don't even know why. Okay, anyway, that's the wall. All right, everyone on the replay team who's already listening to us, thank you for checking out this live stream. This was recorded on Tuesday. I don't know the date. Here, I got that. Here we go. 8/9, August the 9th. We have, I see Dave was already here. Dave Broussard was here at 6 o'clock.
Man, he couldn't wait.
He couldn't wait. He had to get in here. And Regina Phalanges is here saying hi, guys.
Hey.
That's my new response anytime I see Regina Phalanges in a live stream. I type out pivot because it's a friend.
I don't believe I'll be able to see the chat through where I'm at. But.
Probably not. I'll put most of them up. Like here's Dave's. Dave said yes.
There you go.
But I'll put them up as they get started. All right. Well, this week's going to be fun. We're going to have a fun time. Let me get this over here. There we go. That's where I wanted. I wanted this right there. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun week. We have Cain Fritz Wallace with us from KeeperCain. This is his YouTube channel. And we're going to talk. We're going to speak with Cain in just a moment. We'll ask him a little bit about his channel and stuff. And then we plan on talking about fish are better with friends. We're going to talk about having a local club and what it means for us. Now, the three of us just recently experienced having a local club. So it's something new to us by a few months, 8 months or so. Oh, Regina Phalange says, KeeperCain, what you got wrapped around your neck?
This is my buddy Noodle. He's basically like my mascot. He's the favorite animal of the house. Not fish related, but can't be in a video without my guy.
There we go.
Noodle, my pinstripe ball python. He's about as chill as they come.
Cain's into fish and reptiles, and you got amphibians too. Not gone down the axolotl.
My wife wants one, but it's always a debate on what's next.
Yeah. Well, with those, the difficult part with those is keeping them cool.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a space I could keep cool enough for one. They're interesting, but I don't know if I'd want to dedicate a full tank to one.
Right. Yeah.
We have someone in our club. I don't remember who it was. I know she recently moved here, but she said with the weather, she's probably not going to do any more axolotls because it's been tough keeping them cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We got John with Select Pet here.
Hey, John.
How's it going, John? And then we also got Red Laser.
What's up, Red Laser?
Thanks for joining. How y'all doing?
Nice to have you here in the chat with us.
It is.
We're just getting started. You're not that late, John. We won't hold it against you.
It's a couple minutes late, John. Come on now.
I'm going to hold it against you.
Oh, for some reason,
Dave was what, 2 hours early? So I think
2 hours early makes up for it. Yeah,
Dave wasn't playing no games.
For some reason, and I say for some reason, I know the reason, but I'm starting to lose my voice for the first time today. Not had any issues, but our AC went out yesterday and went about 24 hours without it while I had to work from home so that I could be here when the AC guy could get by. Thankfully, we were only in the 90s yesterday, so the highest it got in the house was like 87.
Whew, it's still warm, though.
It
was warm. Select Pet says, doing well, been working on Lexington Club stuff all day, lining up speakers.
Awesome.
Go get them. John be another good one to have for this conversation. John's been involved in a lot of clubs and startups. So, the conversation tonight's going to be more around what it's like to start a club and to have a club when you've not had a club. But we might be able to convince John to come on sometime and talk about starting one, because he's been involved in quite a few startups.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I know John has helped out tremendously with the starting of the Nashville club.
It was the same with Knoxville.
Yeah, whenever we
go ahead, Kane.
No, I was just saying, whenever we first started our club, I'm pretty sure I drove John nuts, messaging him every day, questions about this and that, and he was always there helping.
Yeah, he's great. If you haven't followed him, you definitely should go follow Select Pet. Regina Phalange says she has a 4.5 Delhaize Beecher. It's a Beecher. I don't know why I said Beecher. That'd be two E's. A Beecher. He still has little external gills like an axolotl. So cute.
Yeah,
that's cool. Those guys are prehistoric. They're awesome.
Yeah. They're super tough looking.
Yeah.
Red Laser says a perfect 71 right now. That would be perfect. I would have loved that earlier today. By the time the guy got here to work on it, I was already back up to about 84, 85 in the house.
Whew.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Trying to do work. That just drains you. I had every window open, every fan running. John says, miss you guys at the Triple Crown. It was a blast. He's got to rub that in.
He does. I really wanted to make it to that. That would have been a fun time.
And, it's not that far from us, so I really considered it until I realized when it was. I had stuff going on, so it wasn't an option for me. But
yeah, didn't it run into some weekdays, or was it on the weekend?
So I think it's on the weekend, but a lot of people go up early.
Okay. Yeah, because I just remember seeing it over social media a lot.
Well, and there was also Aquashella as well. So they went one weekend to the Triple Crown and then the next weekend to Aquashella. Right, Dallas?
Yeah, I think Aquashella was this past weekend.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Michelle says, I will be getting me an axolotl soon. They are pretty cool.
Looks like you're getting one, Kane.
Don't listen to her. It's a bluff.
Got to get a chiller. John says, can't drive me nuts about fish clubs and already there. I think you meant I'm gonna read it correct. I'm already there. You're not typing and driving again, are you?
I would have Michelle pop in and say, hey, but unfortunately she had to work a double tonight.
Ooh.
So she must be lurking in the background while she works.
Live streams are good for that, to be able to listen in on the conversation and to get some work done. I lurk in a lot of live streams throughout my day when I have opportunity.
I would have to say probably half of the time I'm a lurker, just because I usually have a million things to do around here with the animal.
Yep. Oh yeah, Tanks. Before I got into listening to all the other live streams, and I listen more than I watch, I mainly just watch listen to Aquarium Co-op, and I would do that when I did water changes, and then I started catching Bob Steenfott live. He's one of the ones that I really enjoy catching live, and then it just grew from there. I kept adding, and then as we got involved online in the YouTube community, there was so many people with live streams that it's crazy. Fishfam.link is the resource there that you need.
Have you downloaded the Aquarium Co-op app?
I have not. Is it new or is it the old one?
No, it's the old one, but it's got all of the live streams for Aquarium Co-op on it, and it's got all the live streams for what's it called?
The other aquarium show.
Yeah, Randy, the director of operations, has got his own show, the Aquarius podcast.
Yep.
So it's got all those episodes on there too.
Yeah, I have had it in the past.
It's really convenient just to not have to deal with YouTube. I mean, I've got premium, but still.
Yeah, have to search around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've actually made it through every episode. I was excited to make it through, just so I could say I could. But honestly, it was just sad when I got done. I'm like, there's no more.
Yeah, and especially since he's not doing it as often right now, which makes him a little special. But
well, you can't blame him though.
No, not at all. He's a busy guy.
Right, and he's put out so much.
And you can only do it. I was talking with someone the other day about how we always try to include some content in the live stream. And I was like, I'm sure at some point we'll start reaching for stuff, trying to figure out what to talk about. But right now, since we're only like 8 episodes in, I think that includes the one that wasn't an episode. We've still got plenty of things that we can talk about. John says Talks and Stuff started on Thursday. This must be the Triple Crown, and went through Sunday. I got there Monday to be early and help set up. Sounds like a fun time. I'm looking forward next year. I hope there's a resource to keep up with all of these, to know when they are. I know fishfam.link's working on some stuff, like you're able to mark which ones you're going to, but I don't know when that'll all get like announced, when they're going to happen and stuff like that. Because I want to attend some. I'm really hoping to attend another Aquaticon in Knoxville. That would be awesome.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Triple Crown sounds like a good time. That was one I was looking into before I heard everybody on YouTube talking about it, because I came across it on Facebook. Select Pet, he blamed his autocorrect. And Regina Phalange says, aren't axolotls from Mexico? Curious about the cool temp requirements. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know that either, actually.
I think John answered a little bit down. They are from, he says they're from the Mexico City area. Their natural habitat is the lake Mexico City was built on top of. So it's a mountain area with cool water. So I guess that would explain, their cooler water temps. Maybe some springs that they were found in. I'm not sure.
Huh, that's interesting.
We've
Jimmy
got
P
Chattanooga
says,
Ed. Oh,
Jimmy P
and
says,
Jimmy P.
Oh, you're right. I miss Chattanooga Ed. I'll back up.
Hey,
Ed. Ed, I hope you're feeling better. I know you had a rough week, so I hollered at him by text, but I didn't use all caps, so it really wasn't hollering. In one of the other live streams today, he said he wasn't feeling good, so I hope you're feeling better. Jimmy P says, hi, Mitch, Tanner, and who's that other guy? Our names disappeared. How did I do? Oh, it's because they disappear when I do that, don't they? So this is KeeperCain. Let's go ahead and jump into it. I see Dee Dee's Fin Den is here, and anybody else that I have missed. I see Red Laser. We'll go back and look at some of the chat. Thank you, John, for including KeeperCain's channel in the links. Putting the link out there.
Buddy.
All right, so let's introduce Cain. We're just kind of messing around here for the beginning and catching up a little bit. But Cain is a friend of ours from Knoxville, and when we know him because he's the president of the East Tennessee Aquatic Association. So he is the first president of the ETAA. And I'll start there. Cain, why don't you tell us a little bit about your hobby? And we'll start there. Let's start with your hobby. Tell us about it.
So, like Mitch said, I'm part of the board of directors for the ETAA. I mean, I'm the president, but we're all basically the president. We're all equal. As far as the hobby, I'm more into fish than I am reptiles, but as you can see, I dabble in the scales as well. I've got 18 aquariums and 15 reptiles and a few tarantulas, but I've been in fish for going on 3 years, and into the reptiles more so in the last almost coming up on a year or so. But yeah, just a local nerd, active fish club member, and somebody that's really trying to get into YouTube. That's about it, really. Local guy from Tennessee.
Yeah, it was fun. When I started doing YouTube, I wasn't sure about doing it. And not long after doing it, Cain was like, man, that's awesome. It's cool that you're doing it. I hope you're having fun. And next thing I know, he's like, I think I'm going to do it too. And I was like, you should do it too.
Yeah, I've been trying to convince myself to do it forever. And I'm like, it's too much work, it's too hard, too confusing. And once you start doing it, I was like, well, crap. I mean, what's stopping me? I can do it. And I actually enjoy it. Every video I enjoy it a little more, I gotta say.
It's fun. It's addictive. It's one of those things where I'm thinking, I can make a video out of this, or I should really get to that video and edit it. But Tanner, how's things coming along with the channel you're working on?
Yeah, so it's still a work in progress. I'm wanting to get a couple videos finished before I post anything. I had some life stuff I've been busy.
Yeah.
So, but it's still happening. It's just not, haven't done it yet. I was hoping to have the first video out before today, but wasn't in the cards.
Well, when you get it out, we'll do an episode just on that.
Oh man.
That'll be fun. So Cain, let's not us, but everyone who's here, because I think we know, but tell us about how you got into, how did you happen to get involved in starting a local club?
Well, so really, I've watched all these YouTube videos because I have a friend that got me into fish. I never really, I wasn't one of those guys that was like, since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to do this. My buddy, he's crazy like me. He's got a house full of tanks, and he kept telling me, "You need to get a tank. You need to get a tank." So I finally got one. Anyway, so upon thinking of getting one, I got on YouTube, and that's what really got me sucked into the hobby. I got addicted to YouTube real quick, and so in watching all these fish videos and getting in the hobby, I keep hearing on Aquarium Co-op and other channels about how they're talking about a club. So, eventually I started looking on the internet, and I'm like, well, why don't we have a club? Obviously we're a hub for fish. I mean, you just get on Facebook and there's people everywhere in the local area. So I made a post in a Facebook group for selling used tanks and was like, hey, why don't we have a club? Why is there a reason why none of us have a local club, and blah, blah, blah. And a bunch of people got on their comment, and John actually got on their comment and messaged me and was like, hey, if you ever want to start one up, you can reach out to me, or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I don't necessarily want to start one. I don't want to be in charge of one. I don't care to help out, but I don't really want to have a leadership role. And we'll see how that turned out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I told Curtis.
So I guess Curtis and Jason, some of our other board of directors, had been communicating about it amongst themselves. And when they saw the interest, they started talking. And Jason made a live stream video from what is now our club page. And as soon as I saw that video, I was messaging like, hey, I want to be a part of this, whatever I can do to help. And then, yeah, 5 of us stumbled together, and it's just went smooth sailing ever since.
Yeah, smooth sailing. So I say that because we're going to talk about starting a club. Starting a club, it has been smooth for the club. I mean, it really has. I've been really impressed. And I was talking with Tanner the other day about, because Tanner is in the midst of he's in a group that is starting a new club in Nashville, stationed in the area of Nashville. You're going beyond Nashville. Why don't you take a moment and tell us about that? Because I'm pretty excited that you're getting started. I know Cain is too. We've been talking about it with you for a while.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So I found I'm from Knoxville, and then I moved to Nashville, and then for whatever reason, as soon as I leave Knoxville, a club springs up, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I've been a pretty active member in the ETAA, and I was like, "Man, driving 3 hours with every meeting and all that is like." It's not my favorite thing to do. I'll do it. I'm still going to do it when I can. But I was like, Nashville's a big enough city that there needs to be a club. So with the help of, Mitch, Cain, getting advice from all of them, John with Select Pet has been a huge help. I found some people. Really, it's just me and one other person at the moment. But we started a Facebook page. We are the Music City Aquarium Society.
I like it.
working on a logo. I've been, talking to local people, trying to get them interested in it. We have almost hit 100 members on the Facebook page in a week. So feel pretty good about that. Our first meeting is going to be in October.
All right.
And
not the week of our swap.
No, it'll be I believe so. You all meet the third or second weekend.
Yep.
Of each month.
Yep.
I believe we're going to do the first weekend.
Okay.
Next week.
All right.
So I definitely still want to be able to try and make some meetings in East Tennessee, but we're going to do, probably a fairly similar format. We're going to try and have a speaker every meeting and just get together and talk about fish.
It's going to be a lot of fun. When we first got started, like Cain said, I did the exact same thing. I was like, I'll do whatever I can to help you guys get this thing started, but I don't want to lead it. And next thing I know, I'm in board meetings and I'm like, how did this happen? You guys, how did you do this? But I really, same thing with Cain, exactly same thing. I enjoyed YouTube and all the community that's there. And I kept hearing everybody talk about their local club or this show or that show. And I was like, I want that. I want that in my area. And if I have to help to make that happen, that's what I'm going to do. So I actually had started a Facebook group before thinking that it would eventually become a club. And the more I looked into starting a club, I was like, I don't have the resources or the time to do this. This is a full-time job. And I was so thankful when I saw people were going to do it. And I was like, yes, you all go do that. I'm with you. But, it's one of those things where you've got to kind of select how you're going to make decisions because you're going to have different people involved. And like with us, what we've said is, when there's a decision to be made, we'll vote on it. And we all have agreed that what we decide when we vote, that's what we're going to do. And there's no going back. We'll just keep moving forward. And that's worked for us. And so I was laughing about, because we have some pretty good conversations, getting stuff, talking about stuff and trying to work through things. And the club has been amazing, though. It's completely changed my hobby. I was going to catch up with a couple of people here. Verily Casey says hi. Ed says, it seems like I get a little worse every day, but I'm not dying. Well, that is good to hear, Ed. I'm glad that you're not dying. I hate that you're feeling bad, though. I know a lot of people have been sick from that exposure. Let's see. I'm trying to get on down. Chris from AquaZone. Howdy, everyone.
Hey.
And I see the Garden of Eaters here.
What's up, buddy?
And I think that's everybody who has spoken up.
So if you're caught up, I was just going to say a little part.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you can pick up the vibe whenever I said smooth sailing, and even Mitch had a chuckle. It has been smooth sailing, but, a lot of people don't see behind the scenes. The five of us, we started off having video meetings every 2 weeks, usually about an hour. And now we've cut down to 1 week that we've got things more established, unless we feel we need to go back to 2 weeks. But really, that video meeting is real crucial. And besides that, we're all in a messenger chat for the five of us. And it's pretty much daily we message each other about something, whether it be short or very extensive. And, luckily, we're all five really different guys, honestly. But we do really good together. Mm-hmm. The best advice I could give is be able to debate and agree on something without getting attached to it, because Mitch can tell you, we get in some, not mad at each other, but we're serious about debates. But like Mitch said, we have a system. That's why there's five, an uneven number. It comes down to 3 votes. And no matter what, if you agree with it or not, how much, whatever, once that vote's in, you got to go on to the next thing and move on, So it's all right to be passionate about what you think, but at the same time, you got to be able to see everybody else's side. And thankfully, the five of us work really well together, and we can, accept each other's ideals and, discussing about things we disagree on.
Yeah, because everybody's got their own vision of what it should look like, and they don't always align. And the thing about a club is you are like-minded people getting together, but you're not all going to agree on stuff. So it's about right now in the beginning, it's about moving forward and getting things established. And then we've already got our first committee that started, the BAP program. And this committee is a group of members of the club who are led by one of the board members, and they are doing the BAP program on their own, and they're working on it, and that's what we hope to see more of as time goes on. We have more people taking ownership of part of the club and doing things, and it's been great. It really has. The chuckle was for the behind the scenes stuff, because those conversations are fun because we're trying to build something that doesn't exist. And, sometimes that's hard to see. And sometimes somebody has an idea that you're just like, there's no way that'll work. But after some discussion, you're like, oh, okay, I can see where I was missing this. I wasn't fully grasping what was happening. Or no, you're completely wrong. This is why. But, like you said, you've got to be willing to debate and to talk about it and not get your feelings hurt.
Right.
Because we're all trying to do the same thing. We want to see, we've said over and over again in our meetings, this club is supposed to outlast all of us.
Oh yeah.
It's not just our club. It is East Tennessee's club. And I know that's how Music City is going to be as well. The Zen Ginger is here. Welcome, Zen Ginger.
Hey, Zen.
Been dyeing kids' hair. Oh, covered in bleach and dye. Well, I'm glad you made it. So
yeah, I think, the five of us and our different personalities, I think that's what makes it great, though, is because, we do allow all of our ideals to get into the group. If it was just one person running it, I don't think it would work the same. Yeah. I think it's the five that's, what makes a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it allows, like you said, we're all, what's funny is we've all got like little overlaps of where our hobby is the same and different. And so, it's fun to see that where some of us are more passionate about some things and some are more passionate about others. And all of that just, it makes for a more rounded club, because we don't want it to just be about, like I told you guys in the beginning, one of the things I was most interested in was outreach and seeing the hobby grow in our area to help new people. I feel like, and you and I know we've had this conversation both in the group chat and just between ourselves, in that we want to see the local stores succeed, because so many people come to the hobby through the stores. So part of our responsibility as a club is to help, not help, but to be there for the stores, to be there to support the stores. And so things like that. And there's just so many aspects to a club to try and balance. And sometimes that balance is difficult.
Yeah. Staying punctual is very important. We don't skip weeks. We don't skip talking about things. We keep lists. I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound like a serious job, but it does take a certain level of commitment, and to stay punctual about it. We don't allow ourselves to get lazy and just, we won't mess with it this time. We make sure at least once a month we always video meet. We talk everything out, that staying on top of it is what really makes a big difference.
So Chattanooga Ed says, you guys have done an amazing job. I think it's my favorite club I've ever been to. Ed, thank you for that. That means a lot to us. I know you mean it, because we've talked about the club and you've talked about what it means. And Music City's not going to be that far from you either.
That should definitely come. Weeks. I think it's 3 hours. That's the drive I make to Knoxville. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely be making it out to some of y'all's meetings. The first one for sure. And,
I want to make that.
I can't promise every meeting, just as I'm sure you're the same, but anytime we can, I'd like to come out there and see it, just because I know you're going to be same mind and goals as we are.
Yeah, definitely. I really have enjoyed the, East Tennessee Club, and everything that kind of the goals are very, sustainable goals for the hobby and other people. And it, kind of brings a sense of more community. And that's what I really felt that I have missed out on, before the club. I enjoy, I can't remember somebody said it at one of the meetings, but you can keep aquariums and never talk to another person that keeps aquariums. It can be a hermit's hobby, but I like the sense of community. It was Sean, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we wanted to make it. You know, we're tired of being fish nerds in our living room watching YouTube, which is awesome. But it's awesome to be able to meet everybody in the community and just nerd out and talk about everything, you know, see all the connections we made.
At some point, it becomes awkward when you're in the store trying to have a chat with somebody who's working there and they need to get to customers. You're like, no, let's keep talking. Let's keep talking.
I'm definitely guilty of that.
But that's what a club is for, is that outlet. Select Pet says, getting help in a meeting place is the hardest part of starting the club. ETAA is doing a great job, and MCAS will rock also. We will rock.
Yeah, I'm excited. The club has already got a meeting. The Music City Aquarium Society already has a meeting location secured. I'm actually working on building or putting together a 120-gallon tank for the meeting location. So
cool.
I'm pretty excited on that. Yeah, it's actually will be right in the same room we meet at. So I'm really stoked on that.
I seen you trying to source one on Facebook. I thought 120 gallon. I was like, dang, what's Tanner doing?
Yeah, so this weekend on Sunday, a coworker and I went and picked up a tank. We're going to be running, we got the tank, we're running CO2. We've got some good lights. The one thing the guy didn't have was a stand. So that's the last thing. I'm probably just going to end up building one this weekend. But
hey, hit me up. I build stands. I mean, I'm willing to help you out for the club. I ain't worried about getting none in return. I mean, that's definitely a good cause. And it ain't nothing for me to throw something together.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to I'll get with you after this on that. That's a good idea.
Definitely.
That's what a club's all about. Verily, Casey says, so based on the three of you, Tennessee going to host their own Crown event soon. We talk about it. We honestly do. I've spoken with multiple people in the area about what it's going to, like, everybody, and it's hard not to do this. Like, this is the fun part, but to vision cast and to think in 3 or 4 years, what if we do have something like that? I mean, obviously probably not going to be anywhere near that size, but to do something like that. And it's definitely possible. We're trying to consider things like that. We want to see the hobby succeed. We want to promote the hobby and bring in, new people and get those hermits that are doing it alone to come join us. Because I think that's one of the hardest parts is finding some of these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, baby steps,
Yep.
The stuff that we talked about hoping a club would be when the five of us first started talking, we're already doing now. And, so hopefully just one more event, one more thing at a time. We'll see where we go.
Chattanooga Ed says, Grant from the Garden of Eden is an officer in a really big fish club in Florida. Now, I didn't know that. I didn't know you were an officer in that club. I knew you were part of one. That's cool. Grant's somebody we want to have next time he's in the area. We want to try and get him out to the club or something.
That would be very cool.
His 10-gallon game is strong, man. Yeah. I see him on Facebook. I'm like, my gosh.
Uh-huh.
I think I got a lot of tanks, and I see his, and I'm like, I don't have a lot of tanks.
And meanwhile, I'm going, hey, look at this guy's picture of all the tanks he has. See, I've only got the 2 right now. I'm looking. Everybody's talking about Regina doesn't have a club, and so everybody's talking about that and trying to get one started. Chattanooga Ed, work the magic. Yeah, it's networking. That's all it is. It's networking. It's finding out, and really, you can do that in your local stores. We did it on Facebook, so I would recommend starting a Facebook group. And what's funny is I started a Facebook group to do that, and ETAA still started in a different Facebook group. So you've got to be involved in multiple Facebook groups, because the conversation where it actually happened was in one of the other groups that we're all still members of, but it's not an official group of the ETAA. We've got JT saying, sup, party peeps.
How's it going, JT? Glad you join us.
JT's the board member we haven't mentioned yet. JT is also a
The
board
main
member.
man, the legend, the dwarf Cayman keeper.
The Cayman keeper.
Yeah.
But that's another thing I did too is, we started the Facebook group, and then another thing is I just kept going. I go to the local stores if I'm in town at least once a week. So every time I go in, I know them fairly well now. I'm like, hey, club's starting up soon, and they're like, awesome. They're letting me, if you build a relationship with your local store, they're saying that I'm going to bring flyers, put out flyers there. The owner of the store said that he would be interested, he's an older guy, and he said that they had a club here in the 80s and it went away, but he was like, I would love to be in a club again. So
yeah,
it's really just go out there and talk, say, hey, I'm getting a group of people together. What do you think? And it's really just getting the snowball or the domino effect. And
yeah. Once it started, we couldn't stop it.
yeah.
No, that's not true. We definitely could have stopped it. We had to keep pushing a little bit. So it is work to say that it's not, but it is. You do want to get that ball rolling, because once it starts rolling and you start, putting together your bylaws and voting on that and making sure you've covered everything there, and then getting a place to stay, and how are we going to conduct meetings, and how are we going to outreach, and just all this stuff. It just keeps going. And next thing you know, you got a club running. Chattanooga Ed says, I've told a lot of Nashville people about it. I'm sure John has too. And I know that to be a fact. I've had people, I've heard people or seen people online talking about it, that there's going to be a club in Nashville. And then also, and I think you were just talking about the same person. Like, it's important that we support one another, because I saw in your all's group that there was somebody talking about how there used to be a club that they were a part of it. And I was like, that's somebody you ought to talk to, because they already know kind of what's happened in Nashville, because that was one of the things that we faced in Knoxville. Was there was a previous Knoxville club, and it unfortunately didn't end well. And so for us, that's been a obstacle every step of the way. Is people are they're not ready yet. Well, let's wait and see. We hear that a lot. Let's wait and see.
Well, we've made it a goal to do a lot of the things opposite from them too, as far as instead of being one guy in charge, there's the 5 of us, so there is no, for lack of better terms, overlord, so to speak. And we try to keep everything really just free and about the community. And so there's no debate about us taking people's money or anything like that. Nobody can definitely not say that, because we give away more than we take.
And that is absolutely part of the ETAA that I love, is that is definitely something that we focus on, and we tell people we should all be striving to give more than we take. And if we do that, this club's going to succeed. It just can't. It'll just blow apart at the seams and go all over, because that's exactly how you do that. Give more than you receive, and make that always the goal. And I've struggled with that lately, because I don't have enough to give away what all I've been given. I'm just blown away by the generosity of people. And I still hear from people from time to time, hey, you've got that pond and you're trying to do this. Hey, I've got some guppy endlers that I don't really need. How about I drop them off to you? And or, hey, you love Corridora. Here's 6 Corys that I don't have room for. It's the generosity. It just blows me away.
Not to, just to pick the most recent one, so that it's not saying, because we've had so many good donations, but just the last meeting we had, we have a giveaway table for those in the chat that don't know. At the end of every meeting, we draw tickets, and one person at a time comes and gets something free from the table, and it's all donated by the members. We had a member donate a whole 5-gallon bucket of Dragonstone, and I don't think I have to tell you how much a 5-gallon bucket of Dragonstone is at the fish store. I was trying to get over there and get some Dragonstone. Okay?
It was gone before my ticket came up, and I was pulling tickets. I was the one pulling the tickets. I was like, "Can't my ticket please come up before that stone's gone?" That was awesome, because we didn't plan on that at all. Nobody knew that was coming. Everybody knows that the table's there, and everybody wants to. What's great is people want to be a part of the table. they tell us, hey, I've got this, I plan on bringing it eventually. And we do try to get an idea of what's coming so we can plan for it. And we do try to, like we do species spotlights where we talk about plants or fish, and we try to make sure we have some of those on the table so that people can learn about them and then take some. But with this, I believe his name's Cody, and I might miss his name. Me and him had a long conversation about why that might be, but I believe his name's Cody, and he did. He just brought in a 5-gallon bucket. He's like, "Hey, where should I put this?" And I was like, "What is it?" He's like, "It's Dragonstone." I was like, "Are you kidding?" So, so yeah, that was awesome. We also gave away a donated fluval aquarium, and
aquascape
with plants donated by Tanner and Sean and Fluval. So, I mean, that's really awesome. API also sponsored the club and has stuff that we've given out as well around the club. You just gotta be willing to reach out there. We've got some great people. Jason was the one that reached out to API. Sean's the one who has a contact with Fluval because he's the Fluval guy. If you search for Fluval, you're going to find Sean.
Oh yeah,
Tech. Yeah. Regina Phalange says, select pet. Funny you mentioned that. I bought a bunch of reticulated hill stream loaches from a local guy. We were talking about starting a club. That's how it starts. That's exactly how it starts. Liquid Zoo Only Fins says, I'm not a hermit. I'm antisocial. I understand, but you still like going to the club, right? Let's see. Select Pet says, it can be as big or bigger than the 2002 Triple Crown. I saw some behind the scenes and have some contacts. Just let me know. We can make it happen. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that that's in the stars for us next year. I don't know that we've thought out to do something like that. We're still trying to baby steps. Like this year, the only thing we committed to, and something I want to get back to, Kane had mentioned, I'm pointing at the camera. Kane had mentioned not taking people's money. So we're going to come back to that in just a moment. But one thing that we did is we set the bar low. We said, we're not going to take any money from you, so you shouldn't have any expectations. But here's what we want to try to do. and that's what we said we were going to do. We're going to meet every month. That's what we said. And we're going to have 2 swaps. That was our promise. Every month meetings, 2 swaps. That we're going to do. And we've held to it. We do plan on growing from that. We all want to grow from that. We've talked about outings and cookouts, and we're hoping in December maybe having something special at the club. There's a lot of stuff that we want to do, but it's all about those baby steps because you could definitely take on too much. John, I want to have something like that too, though, and I know that you do. So yeah, let us know what you've got because you can never start too early on 2024 or 2023, but.
One thing I really like about our club, and it started out as a precaution to the last club. I wasn't in the last club, so I don't know. I can only repeat what I've heard, but we've heard that, a lot of people's money got took and different things, based your own opinions. But so as a precaution to that, we didn't charge for memberships. And that was the main reason why we didn't charge was because we didn't want to scare people off because of the reputation of the last club. But now that we've had it going for a while, and this has been decided for quite a minute, it blows people away. We've even had people tell us we need to have membership charges. And, nothing against anybody that does. At clubs, they need all the funding they can get. But we've decided that, we want to not charge for memberships ever. We want to always be free to be a member and just raise money through events and merch. For one, it keeps us honest, so there's no conflict there. And then for 2, it's just awesome to offer. I mean, I know my personality, and if I had to pay to be a part in the club, maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. But it being free, it's like, crap yeah, let's go see that, I think that's one thing I really enjoy about our club. It's totally free to be a part of.
Yeah, and when we talked about it, we were adamant. I think everybody was in agreement on that in the very beginning. And so we did say, okay, but how are we going to fund it? Because you do have to fund things. You have to have money to do things. And so, we looked into, okay, what is it going to cost for us to have shirts? What's it going to cost for us to have stickers? It's not too much to ask people to support the club by paying $2 for a pretty cool sticker. I love our sticker, by the way. New shirts coming soon, and they are awesome. I can't wait to be able to have one of those. But so we do that. We had some pretty awesome shirts that we sold starting at Aquaticon, and I've seen some. John Select Pet wore one of the ETA shirts at the Triple Crown. So there's some of the pictures were, we're represented there well by John, and that's awesome. But yeah, those shirts are a big funding. But one of the things that's really, really surprised me, pleasantly surprised, not only have people been willing to give for the table for giveaways, but people have been willing to give money, and people give us money to keep the club, going, to support the club. And we have a donation. We made good use of a goldfish bowl, and it's our donation bowl. And so, every week there's some money in there, and that's just helping it grow. And it just, I look at it every time, and I'm just thankful for the people who are supporting it. Not that we expect anybody to give any money. We'll do or we won't do based on what we have. We'll try to keep things balanced. And before we start paying for people to come from all over the country to the club, we'll make sure we're able to do that. We're not there yet, but one of these days, maybe. You never know. But there's different ways, and that people who are considering starting a club, and I know, Tanner, you all have to be having these conversations on what you're going to do, and however you're going to do it. You don't have to do it the way we did it or the way someone else did it. Find what works for you all, because you might not have the same hurdle we face, because it really was a hurdle for us. When we first started talking about it, in those conversations, we had people responding, "Oh yeah, but last time," and we were like, "Wait, there was a last time? We didn't even know about it." And I, like Cain said, I don't know all the details of that. I don't know what happened. I just know some people got their feelings hurt, and because they got their feelings hurt, we've had to deal with it. That's all I know. That's all I've experienced. But so for us, it wasn't an option. It wasn't an option to do it that way, and so far it's worked. And I'm very thankful that it's worked. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a bottle of water real quick.
Yeah. So Mark Sterlson is here. Good day, Mark. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up. Select Pet's still helping out with getting a club started. John. You just need to make a career out of this.
Yes, he does.
You're right. Personal club consultant.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Oh, there is a lot of fish people in Nashville, even some big names. Yeah, I heard that the president of the ALA is in Nashville, I believe. I don't know who they are, but I heard that they're there. I need to start learning these things. Chattanooga Ed says politics have killed a lot of clubs, and that could easily happen, and it's something you got to kind of stay ahead of, and you got to really have that solidarity to where your club doesn't splinter up. And we're still young, we're still a new club, so maybe we just haven't had an opportunity to face it. But for us, like we said, we have 5 very different people on the board, and we try to consider different aspects of the hobby and who we want to represent and who we want to cater to try and support. And in doing that, you still have to be unified in that we want to see this club. Like, even if I'm trying to think of some, Cain, you probably throw something at me, something that I've tried to throw up there and say, hey, we should do this, and we've said no. Even if something that I might get passionate about, and I'm like, listen, here's something we should do. It would be awesome. It would help. It would do this. People would enjoy it. It would be fun. Whatever it was. I have to be willing to let that die so that the club lives. And that's what you have to decide. You have to decide that having the club prosper is more important than my personal project. Now, one day I might still get that project when the club grows and they quit paying attention to me. But
I can't think of anything in particular. I mean, we do have a lot of debates, conversations more than debates, but debates, for lack of better terms. I'm the one I consistently over worry about things. I'll bring up subjects and things, and we'll talk it out. But honestly, we don't run into anything that's like real bad. Like none of us have ever gotten mad at each other or anything. But we have our debates, that's for sure. But that's a good thing, you know. You can't learn anything or come to anything good without debating things out. As far as politics, you know, without specifically saying any subject, anything political, anything opinion, or anything non-fish related, we don't really have an issue with it so far. Hopefully we don't. We mentioned it one time, and the pretty much end of the conversation was, if it's not fishy related, it's not what the club's about. So we just don't have any involvement in those kind of things. Thankfully, we don't have any issues. Even our members, I mean, you know, you're going to have a bunch of different personalities and things, but honestly, even all of our members are really great, and we haven't had any issues.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up in the chat, but you know, and that has been great that we have so many different people involved in the club, and we haven't faced that yet. I don't feel like I've noticed it, and it's important. I feel like it's important that you face those head on and just deal with them. But politics definitely could get into anything, whether it be, you know, just your differences and disagreements, or whether there's, you know, people who have their own agenda on what they want to get done.
And, you know, don't create your own problems. We keep everything really clean and focused, and if something's not professional, we don't do it. You know, we keep everything strictly professional and fish related, and by the books. So we don't make our own traps to fall into, because you know, you can let personal things get in the way as well. Of course, we sell merch, you know, to try to fund the club in some way. But other than that, we're really hard against sales, especially on Facebook and stuff. I think that helps our credibility as well. You know,
I agree, and that's really been another. If I were to say the number 2 obstacle that we've dealt with, that's been it. Because, and even me looking at a fish club and considering a fish club, I mean, it was one of those things that I often found myself saying, "But isn't that what a fish club's for? To be able to you know, to swap and trade and sell?" And so, how do we balance having that aspect of what a club is and supporting the local stores, not undercutting local stores or breeders? You know, you also want to support the breeders, right? You want to see those fish being bred in your area, and there be, you know, enough for everyone to have some. But at the same time, you want to support all aspects of the hobby, and sometimes that's difficult to balance. We have run into situations where we've really had to sit down and say, okay, how do we make this fair? How is it we stay where what we say on this is what we can always say on this? And for us, that meant our Facebook group, not only because Facebook doesn't allow the selling of animals or animal parts. That's a rule on Facebook, and they do like just completely cut out groups. Like if they catch it, you're gone. Yeah. It just happens. There were a couple in Knoxville recently that just gone. And so, you know, we talked about that early on. That's a rule that Facebook has. We can't break that. And I think Cain was the first one to bring up, I really think we shouldn't sell at all. And, you know, we shouldn't allow listings. And I was like, you know what? I can't stand scrolling through the classified ads on some of these Facebook groups to find a post where I can actually communicate with somebody. And so that's been one of the things that's been difficult, because sometimes you're like, this person has this and they need to get rid of it, or this person's moving. But if I allow it this time, I'm not being consistent with the person last week. Right. So there is that little bit, you gotta have a spine a little bit and take it. I know I had somebody, I declined a post, and they messaged one of the other board members like, why was this? And you know, we talked about it and everything, and everything was good. It was all, you know, it was all, you know, good, but it's one of those things where you got to make one of those decisions. And if you're going to start a group, you're going to end up having to deal with that.
Yeah. And you know,
that person was cool too. They just didn't understand why we didn't allow it to go.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of the same way I'm doing the Music City Aquarium Society, or I guess MCAS. MCAS sounds all right. we're doing it the same way. You know, there's plenty of other groups out there that people can post what they have for sale or they're looking for. So we're just keeping it strictly, you know, community, educational, stuff like that. That's kind of how we think is the best way to do it as well.
Yeah, you know, I've even said amongst the 5 of us, you know, the 5 directors talking, I'm not against sales per se. I sell things all the time. Anybody that knows me personally knows I have no shame when it comes to tell you I sell fish, I sell used tanks, you know. But if you need that, you can source that. There's places for that. For a club, we're here for community and education. I could easily benefit myself and be like, oh yeah, let's run sales, you know. But we don't want to muddy our own
benefit
waters.
more than most.
we don't want to muddy our own waters, you know. You have one chance to build a reputation, and it's hard to build a good reputation. It don't take much to mess it up. So things like that, we just thankfully, like Mitch said, we're all pretty much in agreement on things of that nature that we just don't do it at all. Even to the point where you know, people want to give away free stuff. There have been 1 or 2 extreme circumstances where it was just obvious that fish needed help, and we let them, you know, we tried to help facilitate that. But for the most part, we won't even allow people to post free stuff on the club because it's just another avenue to say, hey, you can have this for free, and then they message and it's you know, they're trying to sell it.
Rehoming fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free, but there's a rehoming fee.
Right.
Yeah, and now we have said at the club, because we want it to be a club first and the group be an outreach of the club. But we have said at the club, you know, make contacts, get to know people, find out what people are breeding, find out what people are looking for. You know, we can create a community that helps each other. You know, I constantly tell people what I see on the sell list at the stores, because, you know, you see somebody who's interested in something and you just saw it at the store, you just saw them post that they had it. You know, I try to spread that information. Like when I did even the aquarium co-op stuff, when it showed up in Knoxville, I was excited about that. We couldn't wait to start telling people about that. And you know, just want to support the hobby all the way around, and that takes some balance. I saw that Bunny Viper was here. Welcome, Bunny Viper.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, like Mitch said, it's hard to keep a balance sometimes, but you got to, you know, we want to support the community, we want to support the club, we want to support the local stores. You know, we don't want to do anything to hurt our local market as far as the stores go. So we try to protect them as well. Just, I guess, as long as you're trying to do good, it'll work out good, you know.
Yep. JT says, Tanner, you got to hit up Ben Ochart. He's a YouTuber from Cali into cichlids. Yeah.
Yes, I have heard that name. Actually was at a local store this Saturday and was talking, you know, one of the harder things that I've ran into is trying to find speakers. And was recommended to contact him. So I think that's something I'm going to definitely look into. But yeah, thank you for that, JT.
Yeah, I come across Ben's channel when I bought a Sun canister filter. I was looking at it and I was like, that's cheap enough for me to try, but will it flood my house? And he highly recommended them. And he explained, you know, people keep having this problem and here's why. Just do this. So I have one. I've been running it almost a year. Actually, I've been running it a year now and no problems. Chattanooga Head says, I hate how my ticket always gets pulled first. I feel so guilty. And it absolutely happens. Anytime Ed is there, he's the first pull. And it doesn't matter who pulls it or how we do it. He's one of the luckiest people I've ever met. And I know from some of Fish Room Fever's videos from where you guys have gone to other stuff, you always win things.
That's just because you're a good guy, Ed. You deserve it.
Yeah, don't feel bad at all. Bunny Viper said, Ed, you shouldn't. It's all random. It is random.
Hey, when we first started, some of us weren't putting our tickets in the beginning to give the members a chance. Now we all do. And now it seems like our tickets are getting pulled last, and I'm like, crap, I wish mine would get pulled.
Yeah.
It's full 180.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the beginning, I was like, I don't know that I should put my ticket in. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, our table, we would always have stuff left over. And I was like, well, it's not going to hurt for me to take something too. So I'll put a ticket in. And then when we did the Fluval tank that Sean and Tanner gave away, the person who was pulled was JT. And we were like, oh, it was one of the board members. And I don't know if you guys saw my face, but I was like, ooh, that might look bad. But JT was like, don't worry about it. I'm not taking it. Somebody else can have it. And I mean, I think that just, that's our mentality. We want to see the club prosper, not so much ourselves. So he didn't have room for it. I know he could have put it somewhere.
I thought I saw a glimmer in his eye, like subconsciously he thought about it. He was like, I could do this.
Yeah.
No, he was definitely noble.
Yep, he is. Hi to everyone driving home listening to these awesome dudes. We appreciate it.
Hey, how's it going?
Thank you.
Regina Flange says, I picked up Tanner, this is to you. I picked up 3 gorgeous pieces of spiderwood, soaking them. How long should I expect before they sink?
Really depends on how large a piece of wood it is, but I would say maybe if you're just soaking it in, room temp or aquarium water, a couple weeks to a month. I've seen it. It was spiderwood, correct?
It was spiderwood.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you'll normally get a good bit of that biofilm. If it's never been soaked before, you'll get that real white biofilm. Don't worry about that; it's completely fine. If you want it to sink faster, you can also use fishing line, tie it to a rock, glue it to a rock. But give it a little bit; it'll soak, turn darker, and you'll be good to go. Shrimp love that biofilm. Anything else will eat it, or you can just scrub it off, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I have a big piece of spiderwood in the 75, and when I got it, it floated. So, but I just took a couple of fairly large river rock and wedged them on top of one of the limbs and held it down. And it was buoyant for a while. I would check it, and it was still like I could see that it was still going to float. It can take a while, but if you secure it down, that would be my recommendation. You're not going to boil it or soak it long enough. You're going to want to put it in the tank. I mean, that's how I am.
That's like that piece of wood right there. I had a piece of granite, a big cube of granite I got from a job sitting on top of that thing. I literally let it sit on there for like a half a year. Every few weeks I'd go over and pick it up and it all starts floating. I'd be like, nope, back down.
Not yet.
It finally sunk.
John says we were planning Triple Crown since 2018. It takes a few years of planning.
Wow.
Now, the Triple Crown is like 3 clubs together. So when Tanner and them get Music City going, and we got ETAA, and then there's a Chattanooga club.
There is.
So, I mean, that is 3 major cities.
I think the Chattanooga club has a picnic the first weekend of September. I could be wrong.
Huh.
So, maybe we put something together in the middle, find some neutral ground to host something. And that could be a lot of fun on the middle and eastern side of the state. The people in Memphis, that's a long ways for you all to travel.
Yeah.
But we'd love to have you.
Yeah, even if it wasn't like a Triple Crown, just anything to get the clubs involved together would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know specifically with CFI, there's a couple rivers a little south of me that they go to. So could be a outing, a multi-club outing that would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome.
And that's one thing we've talked about. We already have members of our club who travel to other clubs to go to stuff. We had a group. So the Chattanooga club had their swap the same day. Their swap was planned long before ours, but it was the same day as one of our meetings. And I don't remember what the meeting was. Maybe it was the live cultures, the live foods. But we had a group of guys drive all the way down to Chattanooga early in the morning to be there for that swap, and then drove back to Knoxville in time to be there at 4 p.m. Eastern time for our meeting. And
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like that. I'm looking forward to us doing stuff like that. Going up to, a few of us going up to the Triple Crown, the Keystone Clash. I think that's the next one that's going on up in Pennsylvania. Killer Kitty says, I'm excited to get to the swap on October 8th if it's open for everyone. And yes, it is. It is open for everyone.
It's a good time. I had a table last at the spring swap. I know Kane had a table. Some other people in the club had tables. It was a great time. I plan on being there, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, the swap, like, I had no idea what we were going to experience, and we're over right now, so we're getting close. We're going to have to cut it off. But I had no idea what to experience, what the experience would be like. I imagined a yard sale for fish people. But I think we exceeded that. That wasn't what we experienced. It was a lot of fun, and getting to know people that I'd never met before in the hobby and getting to talk, and then people tell us about, their interest in the club and be able to give information about the club. There's going to be a lot going on. I think this one will be bigger than the last one. We did have 90 people. It was more than 90 people come through that first swap. And that was in April. So we had only met 3 times.
Right.
Yeah. And so the first swap was a huge success, and I really expect it to be like double the size. We're going to be in the same location. We'll make sure that we share that. I'll try to put it in the notes here. It's the Fountain City Lions Club, which is just north of Knoxville. It was a great location for us, and everybody is welcome. We do. Last time, we haven't decided this, so I don't know that it is for sure. But just in case you're planning, we do ask for a $2 donation to come in. And that's just in support of the club. Actually, it paid for the building last time, is basically what happened. So it paid to host it, and which was awesome, because then we had a lot of people who, got to share their stuff and everything.
Yeah, which last time we gave away a sticker to everybody that paid to come to the swap, and we sell stickers for $2. So it was basically like, hey, buy a sticker and come to the swap, or pay $2 to come to the swap and get a free sticker, however you want to look at it. But
yeah,
we had a few people that paid with quarters, so whatever, just to get in. I mean, $2 ain't too bad.
Yeah, I don't know, I have a coin phobia. I can't stand the smell of coins. My wife gives me a hard time. My kids will walk up and be like, "Here, Daddy, hold this," and drop a coin in my hand, because they know I can't get away. I can't get rid of the smell. I don't know what it is, but I hate it. And so, yeah, that person was like filling my hands with change, and I'm like, "Thanks for coming." Which, I mean, I was glad they were there, but for me, it was like, I got to get rid of this. I got to put it somewhere. And then later, when we were closing up, and I gave JT all the money from the door, I was like, "Oh wait, there's more, but you're going to have to come over here and get
it."
What about you, Tanner? Is there any like questions or like exciting new news or ideals y'all got going on, or anything related on your end?
No, I'm just excited for the club to start. Like I said, I think our first meeting is going to be in October. Should be the first week. We'll be meeting the first weekend of the month. That's October 1st. We don't have an exact schedule done yet, but we're working on that, working on lining out some speakers. Just for the first meeting, it will likely either be me or Sarah speaking, just because we have not. We're trying to host meetings because we got the club started, but we haven't had enough time to line up speakers. But I'm excited for it.
Heck yeah, definitely I'll have to save the date and make sure I make it out there.
Yeah,
I want to make it out definitely for the first one. I don't know how often I'll be able to make it to Nashville. I'm not as dedicated as you are, but I want to be there definitely in the beginning to help out as much.
I would really appreciate that. I'm excited. It's going to be nice. We're going to have a tank, a big, nice display tank where we're meeting. So I'm like super stoked on that. Maybe do some demos on the tank, show, how to do a maintenance session, stuff like that. It's cool.
Yeah.
Just, I'm excited for it. I know that ETAA has been a blast, so I'm definitely looking forward to starting the Music City Aquarium Society.
I'm excited to see you work with a tank that big. I know what you can do with a 40-gallon.
I'm scared.
Keeper Aquatics is here, by the way. Want to say hi. They are driving home from work, so they're listening. And we have Rico Stan. Tanner totally reminds me of Avery Schreiber, an actor from the 60s and 70s, best known as the Frito-Lay guy. Look him up. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, man. That is funny. But yeah, no, on the 120, that is the hardscape is what's going to be painful, getting all that.
Yeah. You need. Are you planning on? Do you have anything in mind as far as big wood structure, big stone structure, or any teasers?
I've got a plan in mind. I've got a cup. It's going to be wood and probably Siru stone. It's going to be a rainbow fish tank.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to have a cup. I picked up a pair of juvenile Bozemantes that are going to go in it, kind of as a centerpiece. I've ordered 12 of the Prairie Cox rainbows, the dwarf neons, and then going to do some turquoise. It's really cool. So the company, the club is going to be meeting basically at my works office, and our company colors are orange and blue. So I was like looking at fish, and I was like, the Bozemantes, that's perfect. So I got those as the centerpiece fish to like kind of represent that, but it should be fun.
That's really sick.
Chattanooga Ed says, I want to buy a club t-shirt so bad. We know, Ed. We definitely know. And good news, they're in the works. We thought of you. They're in the works.
Yeah, we got an order coming soon. We made sure everybody that's requested that we haven't had the correct size, we got them put down in the list.
And as cool as our last shirt was, because I think it's pretty cool, the next shirt's even cooler.
It's going to be better.
Yeah. Alishawn AS says, my club does not allow the sales of anything on Facebook. We started a band group for that. Yeah, we've had people talk about starting a band group. It's something, I think Kane answered the question this week, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's which, like I said, nothing against nobody. There's multiple clubs that do things, and it works for each of them. But for us, we want to stay away from sales as any way possible, and we want to keep a good reputation with our store. We don't want them to be mad at us for looping around them, and we want to stay focused on education and community. One thing we kind of discussed was if you're really a fish nerd and you get to know the community and you're involved in the club, you'll learn who sells what, without having a group. I know plenty of people I can go to. I still go to the stores and try to support them too, but it's one of those things we kind of said, like, you kind of earn it, by being involved in the community. You earn to get to know who does what. But which I said, that's just us. Don't get me wrong. I've bought plenty of fish off the internet and off of people. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but we just don't do it.
Yeah, it was going to be too difficult to manage what we would or would not allow. So it's just easier to say none.
Right.
Dave Broussard is here. Welcome, Dave.
Hey.
You had the first comment at 6:00. And Ed's just realizing it's this weekend. Oh no, Ed, I hope you're better.
Yeah.
We'll work that out. Yes. Yeah, we got still be quarantined.
You want to plug our speaker and all that?
Yeah. So before we go, because we got to go, we're way over. The speaker is Bruce Yates from GorgeousGuppies.com. And so you can go check that out, GorgeousGuppies.com. Bruce sells show quality guppies online, and they are amazing. I saw some at our last swap, and I actually have a trio of his, let's see if I can get this right, superior red albino guppies. And they're gorgeous. My wife loves them. She was tickled to death when I brought them in. And so, they're great. He's going to be talking about raising guppies, specifically breeding those special lines, I believe, and then also about shipping fish.
Oh, good deal.
All right.
Hopefully I'll make it in for that.
Chat, I'm sorry I didn't get to the bottom. Mitch is a full 2 Ricos behind in chat. You're absolutely correct. I've said that over and over again, that those of you who do this all the time and keep up with the chat, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Y'all are awesome. Although it should be 2 Ricos behind is something else. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we'll talk, John, about clubs, and we won't leave out Lexington. You're exactly right. It does not have to just be Tennessee. And I saw people talking about the Tennessee Fish Mafia shirts. I want one of those. And everyone in the chat, huh?
I thought I got the hat.
Oh, you got the hat.
Oh, I would like one of those hats. That's
yes,
cool.
the Zen Ginger. Pennies are the worst. That copper never goes away. Don't sniff the dimes. I have a feeling that's going to become a thing. I should never have revealed that.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw change at you every time I see you.
No. In what type of facility are you meeting? We are meeting in a, what's the building called? It's a building adjacent to a historical mansion in our city.
Mansion?
The Blunt Mansion. It's a historical, very old building, and then next to it is like a center, and it's a garden club center, I guess. Like I should know just off the top of my head, but
yeah, I can't think of what it's called, but it is. I like the center. It's the center next to the Blunt Mansion. So everyone, thank you again. Sorry I didn't get to the bottom of the chat. I'm still scrolling. You all are awesome. I'm going to catch up with these once they load. And thank you, everyone. I will try to do better. Cain, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Cain.
It's been fun. It's been exactly what I thought it would be.
Thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
Yeah. So everyone check out KeeperCain. He's got a few videos up. You can check out his monstrous collection of fish and reptiles. It astounds me. But yeah, so until next time, y'all stay scruffy.
See ya.